Hello and welcome to On Copa America Matchday 1, the new tournament starting in America, special one with all the big teams of the continent playing in the USA, and our tipster in America, Leo Bachanian, who knows everything about South American and North American football. Hello, Leo. Ready?
Hello, Edu. Pleasure to be with you again. Yes, absolutely right. I cannot wait till Thursday night for the first game with Argentina and Canada and Peru and Chile, of course.
In Atlanta, the first game,
Yes.
Argentina, Canada. So in this video, we are going to analyze every single game in match day 1. We are going to do exactly the same in the whole tournament. So stay tuned. Of course, subscribe to our channel, press the like, and now let's go on with the show. Well, Group A starts on Friday. We have Argentina, Canada, Chile, Peru in this group. And the first game is a very good one. Argentina, Canada. Argentina, as we all know, current champions in America, in the world, and still having a really good record after lifting the trophy in Qatar. Still Messi in the team. Last official game was a win in Brazil, and this is a lot to say. But Leo, the people who know more about football, they always say that Canada is the dark horse, that they are going to surprise us, and they have big names like Jonathan David, like Larin, like Alphonso Davies, for instance.
Look, Edu, yes, but I'm not that sure if I will be seeing Canada, at least in this Copa America, as a dark horse. Argentina is obviously favorite here. Anything less than winning the game, to be honest, is going to be seen as a surprise and disappointing, at least under the eyes of the Argentinian people. Do I think it's going to be a stroll in the park? Well, not really. Argentina is going to face a very physical side, like what they had with Ecuador in a friendly 10 days ago. On Friday, the win against Guatemala wasn't particularly good for Argentina, especially the first half. But then Lautaro scored a brace. Messi did that too. To have 𝗀𝗲𝗀𝗀 scoring again is very important for Argentina. Actually, well, Julian Alvarez, he needs to have that feeling too sooner than later, because he hasn't scored for Argentina since the semifinal against Croatia in Qatar. To be honest, if there is a word at this particular time that defines Argentina, that is continuity. Why I'm saying continuity, Edu? Because look, after the friendly with Guatemala, Scaloni confirmed finally the squad for this Copa America. 21 out of 26 in this Copa America squad have been already present in Qatar, and 21 names on the squad were the same as the Copa America in 2021. Look, the 9 defenders that Scaloni took to Brazil in 2021 are all the same defenders that he took now for this Copa America in the United States. In the end, there was no space for Valentin Barco, for Leo Bachanian, for Ángel Correa, which came as a surprise. I'm actually using the word surprise. That's how I was to see Guido Rodriguez, to be honest, making it in the list, despite that he didn't have a great season with Betis, a season disrupted by injuries also. But plus the team has in Paredes, Enzo, McAllister, already players who could play the central midfielder role. The expectation, apart from Di Maria, of course, and Messi, are placing what Garnacho could bring, although Scaloni didn't give him any minutes at all in the last 2 friendlies with Ecuador and with Guatemala. And the other name is Valentin Carboni. He's 19 years old. He played for Italy in under 17s. And against Guatemala, he started and he was very, very impressive, to be honest. And I think he ended up winning that spot in the squad after the friendly with Guatemala. But what do you expect from Canada? You were asking at the beginning. Well, I think the blueprint of the game we are going to see from 𝗀𝗻𝗄 is what they have done against France in their 0-0 draw in Bordeaux. A very compact 4-4-2. Alphonso Davies operating as a left back. Liam Miller and Tajon Buchanan on the wings, and Larin and Jonathan David, as you mentioned him, in attack, but defending for sure in their own half when out of possession. But there is a point here. If 𝗀𝗻𝗄 does not overthink, if he keeps the thing simple, then Canada could dream, to be honest, because if the France match is the blueprint for what they could do against Argentina, then the 4-0 defeats against the Netherlands is a red flag for March. And I'm saying it's a red flag because for 50 minutes on that game, Canada actually was not suffering a great deal. But then after the pace score, after the 5 minutes in the second half, March started to change everything. He started to change everything that worked until that time. He changed names, he changed the setup. So that's why I'm saying he cannot allow himself to overthink too much in Atlanta on Thursday night in the US. I don't entirely agree, Edu, with many people looking at Asian handicap minus here market for Argentina. Argentina is a team that does not mind winning for small margins. Forget about the friendlies, because the friendlies are different matter. The opposition are usually weaker against Argentina in friendlies, but when you go to the main competitions, Argentina does not mind winning for small margins. Look, on the road to Qatar, they registered 6 wins by 1-0. In the current CONMEBOL qualifiers to the World Cup 2026, 3 out of the 5 wins, they were as well 1-0. In official competitions, since Scaloni took over in 2019, this is Copa America 2019, Copa America 2021, the Finalissima, and then the World Cup in Qatar. Argentina won in those official competitions 29 times. And only in 9 of those 29 wins, Argentina won for a margin of more than 2 goals. And 3 out of those 9 wins of more than 2 goals margin were against Bolivia. So it's something to take into account as well. I'm not expecting here a goal feast or anything like that. Emi Martinez played 39 times with Argentina. In 28 games, he kept a clean sheet. So that's why my take, saying this, is Argentina to score first, combined with a clean sheet, those two things together, odds of 2.34. And also, as I said, I do not expect a goal feast here. Goals under 2.5, odds of 2.14.
Well, I said that the Copa America was going to start on Friday the European or Asian time.
Yes,
Indeed, it's on Thursday evening. If you are in America, Canada have to fight with Peru and Chile for the second spot, we expect, in this group A, because of course Argentina is super favorite to top this group. Peru, Chile, very, very interesting game. A lot of rivalry between these two teams, the Gareca's derby, and the odds place Chile as favorites, Leo, because they have Ricardo Gareca in charge, and also because Chile, they've improved in the last months. They beat Paraguay 3-0 in the last qualifiers, also Albania, for instance, 3-0 in a friendly game. Recently, whereas Peru has been so poor in the road to the next World Cup.
Yes, and of course, to have Ricardo Gareca is a massive handicap for Chile. It's going to be the first official tournament for Gareca in charge of Chile, the man who took Peru to the final of Copa America in 2019, the man who took Peru to the semi-final of the Copa America in 2021, and more especially the man who took Peru to the World Cup in Russia 2018. The 3-0 win in Santiago in the last friendly against Paraguay was very good for Chile, Edu, with Victor Dávila playing on the right behind Edu Vargas, with Alexis Sanchez playing in the number 10 role. Dávila scored twice. He doesn't play as a number 9, but he wears the number 9. And I think to trust Dávila in the starting 11 may prove to be one of the best decisions so far for Ricardo Gareca. And actually, there is a very nice story with Dávila, and I'll do it quickly. In the Copa America 2015, the one that Chile won for the first time in their history, Dávila was one of the sparrings that was training with Chile, with Sampaoli. And back then, Alexis Sanchez noticed that Dávila was training with broken boots. So he gave him a new pair of boots. The Copa America finishes, Dávila goes back to his club, Huachipato. What happened in the training ground? Someone stole this new pair of boots that Alexis gave to him. This make it to the news. The police got involved. The police got back the boots that Dávila got stolen. And 9 years after, the feel-good story is like Dávila is playing alongside Alexis Sanchez. There's not going to be Arturo Vidal, actually, he didn't make the squad alongside Gary Medel. He just signed for Boca Juniors, Gary Medel, but he's not making the Copa America. King Arturo was a bit upset on Instagram, posting a picture of himself and a picture of the Copa America written underneath mine. So a little dig there to Ricardo Gareca. I agree with Chile being favorites here, Edu. Peru trying to rebuild as well with Jose Fossati. The last head-to-head was in October, and Chile won 2-0 on the road to the World Cup 2026. In 2021, Chile reached the quarterfinals, and if they do the same now, if they manage to get out of the group, I think it's still it's gonna be seen as something good for Gareca in Chile. Talking about Peru's rebuild, they're still notably an aging group. Don't forget that Paolo Guerrero is almost 40 and he made the squad and he's leading the attacking line. The defense also features several players in their mid-30s. My take here, Edu, I like the odds for Chile to win, averaging 2 on Oddspeedia's website, and also both teams to score. My answer is no. Both teams to score no, odds of 1.74.
Well, Peru-Chile, very important this game to be played in Texas to see who is going through. Remember that the best 2 teams in each group will play the knockout stages. Let's jump into Group B, and the first game is Ecuador, Venezuela in Santa Clara, California. 2 teams that are overperforming in the road to Qatar. Venezuela surprising everyone. 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat. They could play their first ever World Cup, and Ecuador with only 1 point less, also with good numbers, only losing, for instance, to Argentina 1-0. These teams met back in November, Leo, not long time ago, and they drew, for instance.
Yes, and to be honest, anticipating my tips here, that is something that I can see happening again, a draw. This should be one of the best matches, Edu, on Matchday 1. Absolutely. We spoke on our previous show how both could stand as dark horses, in my view, and especially in this regard, Ecuador. They have shown to be a resilient team, a blend of experienced players with emerging talents as well. In the friendly against Argentina, they were, I believe, a little bit overcautious, I would say, but nevertheless, they showed their intensity, their physicality. Not a surprise when 13 out of the 26 players in the squad are 23 years old or younger in Ecuador. The experience comes in the likes of Ener Valencia, who scored in the last friendly against Bolivia, Carlos Grueso, Corozo, Mena, or the goalkeepers Alejandro Dominguez and Hernan Galíndez. It's going to be a very interesting match, Edu, that's for sure, because Ecuador in the qualifiers ranks high in possession statistics, for example, but and passing accuracy. But the True is a team that likes to keep the ball through short passing, yes, but lately they are not scoring too much and they are not creating too many goal opportunities. In the last 10 games, Ecuador have scored 10 goals, and 7 of them have come against Bolivia and Guatemala. There is a pattern on Ecuador, and that is they are aggressive at the start of the games. They look to press high, but they will ease a little bit if they manage to score early in the game. Against Venezuela, they're going to have the ball, especially because Venezuela with Fernando Batista has shown that they are not a possession dominant team, but they are a team that produces good quality chances for their strikers. The Vinotinto will have Salomon Rondon. He's still there as the focal point of their attack. He's still super effective in playing with his back to the goal in the build-up. And as important as Rondon is going to be Yangel Herrera, who was vital or very important player for Girona this season in La Liga. I believe Ecuador, Edu, are favorites here because they have more players maybe who can individually escape from pressure and progress the ball into the final third, especially, of course, 𝘀𝗵cie. But I don't see the gap being as the bookies suggest, and I expect a very close contest here. That's why I will go for goals under 2, odds of 2.12. And as I said at the beginning, excuse me, I would not hesitate too much in pointing to a draw. Yes, the odds are high there, but again, I will be looking at a draw here as well, odds of 3.65.
All right. Last time, again, they had a goalless draw, so both bets would be correct. In this case, Ecuador and Venezuela, they could qualify in this group. The favorites are Mexico, but be careful with Mexico because they are not getting great
No.
results. We saw them, for instance, getting thrashed by Uruguay
Oh.
in the friendlies before this Copa America with Santi Jimenez as the main star. They are playing against a weak team like Jamaica, and they are playing, Leo, at home. They are playing at Houston, so I'm sure the crowd will be 100% Mexican.
Absolutely, this is going to be like playing in the Estadio Azteca. That's something that's going to happen against Jamaica in this all CONCACAF fixture in the Copa America. They are arriving with a very low confidence. Edu, 3 defeats in the last 4 for them. The only win against Bolivia for 1-0 in a friendly. I think Jaime Lozano, the coach, made a heavy mistake against Uruguay because he overlooked the match, playing the game with almost non-starters, and they got trashed 4-0. And it could have been even worse for them. I understand that you are still that you need to see players before the competition starts, but you cannot read the situation so badly, knowing that the confidence that football people in Mexico has in Lozano at the moment is low, knowing that the pressure on the players is running high because people in Mexico want to see the team delivering in big moments. So you cannot take so lightly a match against one of the best teams in the continent. I think that was a mistake by Lozano. He rested players, yes, thinking about the friendly with Brazil, which in the end it got a little bit better, yes, because the scoreline was 3-2 for Brazil. But Mexico only came into the game in the last 10 minutes when they managed to get from 0-2 to 2-2. And then in the end, Hendrik managed to score with a header the 3-2 for Brazil. The game at least gave us a hint about, for example, Edson Alvarez, because despite him being the best defensive midfielder that Mexico has, he played as a center back against Brazil, something that, for example, happened with Spain and Rodri in the World Cup in Qatar. Usually, Edu, this fixture comes packed with goals. The last time in the Gold Cup in Mexico had a comfortable 3-0 win, the Jaime Lozano's team. This time they are again favorites in spite of them, but the things like Jamaica are a mess of themselves. Leon Bailey, he rejected the call back in March from 𝗀𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀, the Icelandic manager that Jamaica has. Surprisingly, he was named in the squad for the Copa America. And Leon Bailey's agent had to come out and say, no, sorry, guys, he's not going. So something very good is happening as well there in Jamaica. That's the way they arrive into this Copa America. For me, Edu, here, Mexico to win plus goals over 2. That takes the odds to 2.80 on average on Oddspeedia's website. Mexico to win plus goals over 2. And also I will look at second half goals over 1, odds of 1.65.
What is an Icelandic doing training Jamaica? I guess
Yeah.
sunshine there, but cannot be more different.
It reminds me of the movie. I don't know exactly in English how was the name, but I remember watching Argentina by the name Jamaica bajo cero, Jamaica under 0, with that team that compete, a Jamaican team that compete in the Winter Olympics. Well, something like that to have an Icelandic manager in Jamaica.
Indeed. Well, these teams met in 2023 in the Gold Cup. Mexico won 3-0 in the CONCACAF Nations League draw, but in the qualifications for the World Cup, also Mexico beat Jamaica both times since they are both in the CONCACAF Confederation, as you are saying. By the way, if you wanna place your tips also, and if you know a lot about football, we have a tipster competition for Copa America, exclusive for Copa America, so you can win prizes, real prizes with real money. Sign up in our website. Leo is completely free to play. And again, if you are so good as a tipster for this Copa America, you can win real money. Leo, let's continue with the
Yep.
other two groups. We have Group C. Here we have Bolivia, Panama, Uruguay, USA. I guess Uruguay, USA, super favorites to go
Yes.
through. The first game is USA, Bolivia. Apart from the team that USA have, they have names like Pulisic, McKennie, Reina, Musa, Wea, all players in European clubs. They drew recently with Brazil. On top of that, they are playing at home. This game is going to be played in Texas, in Arlington. They are playing against a really poor team, Leo, like Bolivia, not even in the famous altitude of La Paz, they are getting results these days.
Absolutely, Edu. This is an opportunity for the USA to put on a show in Texas. The 1-1 with Brazil are gonna go to that was very good. Before that, they were trashed 5-1 by Colombia in a friendly days before. But I watched the game, and to be honest, it was a bit too much, the scoreline. It did not reflect exactly the run of play. The USA made a lot of mistakes on the build-up, so basically they shoot themselves in the foot, allowing Colombia to run riot in the last 25 minutes of the game. But then against Brazil, the concentration and focus, to be honest, was impressive in that 1-1, Edu. I mean, against Brazil, you are always going to suffer. Yes, you are always going to concede chances. There is no escape to that. They are Brazil. But I don't see many teams attacking Brazil the way that the USA have done it in that friendly. I was surprised to see such an attacking-minded lineup. Look, Giovanni Reina, Yunus Musa, Weston McKennie in midfield with Timothy Weah, Pulisic, and Ricardo Pepi as the front three. So that was a very attacking-minded lineup. And this should not change against Bolivia. Maybe Tyler Adams could be starting midfield, but this should be a good opportunity again for the United States to deliver a good debut in front of their fans. And Bolivia, Edu, yes, very poor, very, very poor. There's nothing that tells me that they're going to change how things are at the moment for them. They lost as well 3-0 against Colombia in the weekend. 9 defeats in their last 11 matches for Bolivia. Their only wins coming against Peru in La Paz and against Andorra in a friendly. With Colombia on Saturday, that 3-0 came all in the first half, and then Colombia decided that it was enough. Otherwise, it would have been much worse. So here I will be looking at Asian handicap minus 2.5 for the USA. That comes with odds of 2.66, and also goals over 1.5. Goals over 1.5 in the first half, odds of 2.53.
Well, exciting, the USA team for this Copa America, also really exciting. Uruguay playing against Panama with Bielsa, a lot of hype around Bielsa, but it's because the team is winning. They are getting great results in the World Cup qualifiers, even beating Argentina or Brazil, even this win 4-0 against Mexico that you mentioned before. Darwin Núñez scored a hat-trick in that game, and they are playing against a low-level team like Panama, so I guess we should expect a lot of goals. This could be an Asian handicap game for Uruguay.
Yeah, I believe so, Edu. And if I said that the USA should put on a show against Bolivia, what you say about Uruguay against Panama? The display against Mexico was impressive, despite what I explained before about Mexico not playing with the preferred 11, and they done it without Fede Valverde, who was resting after winning the Champions League with Real Madrid. They done it without De La Cruz, without the Arrascaeta. Panama's preparation has included 2 wins. But listen, against Montserrat and Guyana, we have a head-to-head as recent as 2022 before the World Cup in Qatar, which ended 5-0 for Uruguay. So we can expect, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar in regard to the scoreline this time in the Copa America. To find any value in the Asian handicap market, we have to go to Uruguay -3 Asian handicap, which has odds of 2. I like, to be honest, Edu, Uruguay to score before the 28th minute, which has odds of 1.83 as well. And then if you fancy a little ACCA, one match ACCA, I will leave you with Uruguay to score first, plus Uruguay to score before the 28th minute of the game, plus Uruguay to win both halves. All these three combined gives you odds of 3.
Well, Panama, if we check the latest games, as you were saying, Montserrat, Guyana, Catalonia, and if we go back, we have Guatemala, we have Curaçao, all teams that are, or countries that are good to go on holidays, but probably not to see football. Yeah. Let's see how they perform against a top team like Uruguay. Is going to be very tough. And my preferred group, I would say, in this Copa America probably is Group D, because we have Brazil, we have Colombia, and first game we are going to analyze is Colombia. Paraguay, perhaps everyone talks about Uruguay because Bielsa is a great manager with a great career, but don't overlook Colombia. We don't have to miss them. 8 consecutive wins, including beating Brazil in the World Cup qualifier. Néstor Lorenzo is doing a great job. James Rodriguez is playing really well, and they are playing against a team like Paraguay, Leo, with a lot of problems scoring goals. Only 1 goal, if I'm not mistaken, scored in the qualifiers. Is true, in the World Cup qualifiers, it's true that they also don't concede a lot, only 3. So it's a low scoring team, low scoring games, the ones involving Paraguay.
Yes, but they scored 3 in the friendly against Chile in the last week on Friday night, and they're in as well, not in playing at a very good standard at the moment, Edu. I'm surprised. I keep checking the odds for the Copa America, the outright winner, and I'm surprised and almost annoyed, I would say, that Colombia shares the same odds than Mexico and the USA. Because that's right, they're absolutely in form. 24 matches, Edu, without losing, 8 goals scored in the last 2 matches, 5 against the USA, 3 against Bolivia in 45 minutes on Saturday. The front 4 with Bolivia were John Arias, James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz, and John Córdoba. And the options waiting in the bench, they were Carrascal, 𝗀𝗻𝗀 Quintero, John Duran, Borré, Yasser Asprilla, Luis Sinisterra. So a lot of talent and potential for Néstor Lorenzo. The Cafeteros could claim their own brand of the pop band Jonas Brothers. They have because they have John Arias, John Córdoba, and John Duran. And to be honest, the 3 of them used their minutes very well in the last 2 friendlies. Edu, they all score. And John Duran, which we talk about him in the previous show of this Copa America, likely to move from Aston Villa to Chelsea, which could be a great move for him. And then, Edu, you knew that playing Paraguay, will mean a physical battle. That's what we always thought about Paraguay. That would mean physical battle, an aerial battle. You knew you will leave the field of play with a bruise or 2 in your legs against Paraguay. But lately, even that has been erased from the national team because Chile won 3-0 very comfortably in Santiago. I believe the script is very clear for the opponent in this Group D. Paraguay defending possibly in a 5-3-2, and Colombia throwing everything they have in attack. Paraguay needs to bring mad to the game. They need to cut the rhythm of play, otherwise they could suffer massively. To point something negative about Colombia, because I've been saying only good things, fair to them, but if I had to point something negative, historically, Colombia, they have been at times they could easily become overconfident, bordering cockiness at times. So Lorenzo needs to make sure this is not happening to his side, because at the moment they are doing amazing, yes, but overconfident, we know usually it doesn't matter the sport, overconfident can go against you. Edu, I really like the odds for Colombia to win straight 0.8 on Oddspeedia's website on average. That's my first pick, Colombia to win. And the other one, Colombia to score in both halves. That takes the odds quite a little bit higher to 3.2. Colombia to score in both halves.
And it's a team that missed the last World Cup. Remember, they've
Yeah.
changed dramatically in this last 2 years. They are third now in the World Cup qualifiers with 3 wins and 3 draws. No defeats yet for Colombia. This game is going to be played in Houston, USA. I guess there is going to be a great atmosphere. There are plenty also of Colombians living in the USA. Leo, and the last game,
Yep.
Brazil, Costa Rica, second favorites, Brazil, to lift the trophy. I guess everyone these days, Leo, in Brazil, is talking about Ronaldinho and not about Brazil and his words, criticizing the Canariña. He's not interested in this team because they are not good enough for his standards, and we know Ronaldinho's standards about football are really high, but I want to see La Canariña always, even if Dorival Jr. is on the bench, especially because they have Hendrik, a player that I'm eager to see in Europe, Vinicius, and a lot of other great players. We saw also the level of Costa Rica in the last World Cup, Leo, far, far away from the Costa Rica that amazed us, for instance, in the World Cup in Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely, Edu. And listen, it's true that we were expecting to see 𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀 and we had Dorival Jr. But if there is something that Dorival seems to be doing, and you could relate to 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, is like he seems to be uniting the squad. And more importantly, he's like restoring a sense of calm, I would say, around the squad. Rodrigo, and I will give an example, Rodrigo, the last few days, he told of Argentina being favorites over Brazil to win the tournament, which is something very rare, seriously, to hear from a Brazilian player, regardless the moment of the national team. I remember, for example, Ney posting a picture of himself in Qatar with when he drew a 6-star on his shorts. So that's the kind of things that we get with Brazil when they go to tournaments. But lately, the discourse of the squad is one where Brazil comes to compete and nothing else. And I think that is down to Dorival. And at the same time, it makes sense because let's not forget, Brazil had a very turbulent 2023. Let's not forget that Dorival inherited a team whose performances and results were very poor at the end of the year, losing 3 of their 6 World Cup qualifiers so far, leaving them below Venezuela and Ecuador in the table. The feeling is that Brazil is saying, okay, let's do the talk in the pitch. Ronaldinho, no, but it's fine. He's not playing, so he can say whatever he wants. And he was very harsh, I would say, with his connationals. In the last 2 matches, Brazil, yes, haven't been particularly impressive in the win against Mexico and in the 1-1 with the USA, but they had good moments of football, and the challenge for Dorival, anyway, is to try to extend those good moments where everything seems to come alive for Brazil. They will face a Costa Rica side without Keylor Navas, who retired from international football a month ago. To be a last dance for him. And it's a massive loss because for the Ticos, because with Keylor, you had the impression that Costa Rica could stay in any game. The task for Gustavo Alfaro is to ensure that his team, Edu, does not become unbalanced or undisciplined defensively. If that happens, then Brazil will destroy them. Against Argentina in March, they played with 5 at the back, something that will happen again. Manfred Ugalde, 22 years old, age striker, he scored against Argentina, and the player to look at in Costa Rica, in this new Costa Rica squad. My take here, Edu, Brazil, obviously, massive favorites. Brazil, Asian handicap -2, odds of 1 point. And then a combination of Brazil to win plus a clean sheet for Brazil, odds of 1.90.
We still have Keylor Navas, by the way.
No. He retired. He retired from international football before
Borges,
this.
None of them.
Exactly. So no, Keylor. It's a shame. It's a huge loss for him. Or Costa Rica.
Keylor Navas and Costa Rica that surprised everyone long time ago in the World Cup in Brazil. Well, this is the last game, 8 games in the first match day in Copa America, analyzed by Leo Bachanian. Leo, you've told us a lot of tips. Tell me your favorite one among them all.
The safe bet here, Edu, Uruguay to win. Odds of 1.34. A very likely outcome, Uruguay against Panama.
How many Argentinian managers are in the Copa America, Leo? Trivia question. 6?
Oh, it could be. We have, of course, 𝘀𝗵cie. We have Gustavo Alfaro. We have Ricardo Gareca. We have Marcelito Bielsa. Am I missing someone? I'm trying to go, because in Peru now we have Fossati, Canada no. So, yeah, 4 or 5. Well, Néstor Lorenzo in Colombia, yes. Actually, almost half of the tournament is with Argentinian managers.
Well, and the ACCA to finish the video.
Yes, Colombia to win, Uruguay to win, and Brazil to win plus clean sheet. All that leaves me with an ACCA of 4.55, Edu.
Brilliant, Leo. Let's enjoy this Copa America this summer. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and see you very soon. Bye-bye.